Hello people, right, this is my Bitcoin chart on a demo account, and I don't trade Bitcoin apart from demo because I don't know enough about it, and I don't know when the busy times of day are, which is critical to my scalping. It just seems random, and quite frankly, with a spread like that, I haven't really got a lot of interest in trading it at the moment, but I do keep an eye on it at the weekends. And this is an update from last weekend's videos that I made. I haven't even re-looked at them myself, so I can't suggest what I might have said in that video or reflect on that, but that's probably a good thing, because I'll make this one without that knowledge, and then perhaps look back over it and see what I did have to say. But from the lines on this chart that were left over from the weekend, last weekend, I was potentially bearish, and this is a monthly chart, so none of the lines will have changed particularly from last week. On the weekly front, last week was massively bearish. It closed down. In fact, sorry, that's last week there, bullish. So prior to that, we'd closed down through a monster load of support and resistance here by the looks of it. Yellow lines being resistance, highs, as you can see. There's numerous different highs in there behind that lump of yellow and green goo, as it were. So what can we see from this? Well, we could put, now last week's candle has been replaced by a new one. We could put lines on the top of those two there, and the bottom rather, one on the top, one on the bottom, and then drop down to the daily. And what we can see here is this is the candlestick reversal. We've got a gap as well, which we seem to get at the end of every week. Low, high, higher, low, higher, high. This is my unique method of looking at trends for anyone that's not aware of what I do. Low, high, higher, low, higher, high. We track that on the candles. Then the minute the low of the start of the last candle before the ultimate candle, so I suppose you'd call it the penultimate. Low, high, higher, low, higher, high. And then we sing the song on every candle. It doesn't matter if it doesn't make a lower low, because that's just an inside bar and inconsequential. High, low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, high, lower, low. Then the gap down, lower. Let's have a look if we can snow. We can't really see it, but there's lower high and lower low here. There hasn't been a close yet, so it hasn't necessarily made a valid reversal. But let's just assume it has made a close. It has made a valid reversal. Let's take that off there now. Oh, in fact, I do apologise, there's a green candle behind there, doji. That's the reversal to the short side. That means we are actually short bias now. But as I state in previous videos, and I urge you to take the time to watch them, once we have a confirmed break of support, then it will try to go back and test resistance. So you would expect an up move, and that's when you drop down to the lower time frames and track the pullback, and then you apply the same process to that. What you're trying to get is trends within trends, or get your ducks in a row. So this is a low, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high. This is an uptrend, and critically the last two candles in the uptrend are the reversal point. We would expect the price to come and test this, and what we know categorically, we'd want it to break through there and close below it for us to continue further down. But with this, we would also expect it to go, the next target after the daily would be the weekly low. So we can count that as a target. I'll just highlight that so we can see the little white dots on it. So this has got quite a long way to go to the downside, potentially, if this starts to continue on down. So we wouldn't need to break that low there as well. So we can put a support level on the low of that green candle there. I'm looking at this one here. That will be significant on the daily chart. So actually we'll highlight that as well. And then we'll drop to the H4 and see what's going on there. So this was the pullback to test the level over on the left hand side. You know, I'm not going to get into the precision nature of this stuff here because there's too many lines on here, but I'm hoping you understand, for new people, because there's a few new people starting to watch my videos, that the concept. And what I'll do is I'll do a chart from scratch, not necessarily Bitcoin, because it's not something that I'm 100% in comfortable with, should I say, in tune with. But having said that, we've had this pullback we talked about, and now we can see the reversal potential of this little low here. This is difficult because of the gap. It's a mess actually. But if we were to consider this the reversal level, low, high, higher, low, higher, high, needs to be broken with a close below that low, which is the daily low, which we just talked about, yesterday's low, 28th of the 3rd. Close below that would mean it's likely to continue, but once again you wouldn't just hit that. You would go to the lower time frame, wait for the pullback, or if it doesn't pull back with a valid reversal, then you can enter it on the next lower time frame, should it display the same principles we talked about way over here. In other words, on this 4-hour chart, this is the valid reversal. Low, high, higher, low, higher, high, followed by a high, low, lower high, lower low. And you won't know this is the final candle, obviously, until the low of that is broken, and then you start to sing. If this had gone higher, you would then treat this as the reversal level, and so on and so forth. So it does become quite straightforward once you've practiced it quite a lot, or a bit, should I say. Low, high, higher, low, higher, high, reversal, high, low, lower high, lower low. It's not valid until it closes below that level. That was the validation. Here is the pullback. Notice it pulled back. It just shot through it by a little bit. But this is what I say. Very, very high potential. Once this is support, that's classed as fair value in a trading method I studied for a few months, years and years back, probably 12 years back now. But how will we know that is a valid support level or a fair price for the Bitcoin, unless after it breaks it, or it breaks it with a confirmation, it comes back to test it, and that's what it's doing. And it does that so much that on the higher time frames and different pairs without such a huge spread as this, you could probably make bundles of scalps in there. If this was a monthly move, then you have to be prepared to wait for 2 or 3 months possibly until it finally reverses with a valid reversal to the downside. So that's what I'm trying to explain here. So you can attack these levels on the lower time frames, because we know, like when we were here, when we've done this high, low, lower, high, lower, low, in order, we know, because I've studied this for years and years and years and years and come to the conclusion of this trading method, we know that we have to break and close through that level. So when we're up here, if we get a valid entry on the 15-minute, 5-minute, 30-minute, whatever, the hourly, work it out for yourself and study it, guys, then we can trade that there with using the exact same method. Occasionally you can apply this wonderful RSI histo alert that I am absolutely in love with. If you're new to this channel, then you won't understand. This one is a proprietary indicator, and I cannot share it. and that's why I set out to find an indicator that was as good, and this turns out to be better than this one that's been on my charts for 15 years now. So excuse me. So when this did actually confirm down, break and close down, call it what you like, I like to call it a confirmation, then it's highly likely that this would have dropped, and we've had the pullback there. Like I said, can be 3 or 4 bars, or can be more than that, and then you just keep putting the levels on this. This would have been a valid reversal for a reversal to the long side if this had closed above. There's your low, high, higher, low, higher, high. This is your uptrend. If it closes above that, then all bets are off for the short side, and you would have considered going long. And I do seem to remember talking about that in the last week's weekend video covering the Bitcoin. You can go and watch those, they're quite clear. Not many people have bothered watching them, that's fine, but because not many people probably trade Bitcoin, but it doesn't matter what currency pair I'm showing this method on. The method of reversals and confirmations and continuations and moving from the higher time frame to the lower time frames to get your precise entry, it's always the same. Okay, so we can have a look at this interestingly and see what it did on the daily, because this would be fairly interesting. I mean, there's nothing more I can say about this down move really until it breaks and closes below there. Let's go to the daily and see what that shows us on that on that break. Yeah, I mean, at this point the daily was massively bullish, potentially going to test that descending trend line that was part of that wedge. We didn't really get it, I mean, categorically, according to my rules, the reversal to the long side on the daily chart would have to be way up here. High, low, lower high, lower low. We need to get above that last candle, the penultimate candle, close above it, then pull back for umpteen days, 3, 4, 5, as many as, well, not as many, there's no limitation. You just keep dropping down the time frames and watching these reversals until finally what generally happens is, at this point in a massive downtrend like this, you would get the distribution phase. Accumulation, according to Wyckoff, is down at the bottom, and what they're doing is just loading up with short orders here on this resistance level here until there's no more buying power in the market at all, and the institutions that drive these moves have got bored and decided it's time to absolutely, well, there's no more buyers left. That's basically what it is. They've tried to entice every retail trader and novice bank trader and someone that doesn't know what's going on into the longs until there's no more buying whatsoever, and they might drive it up to take out some stops or something. I used to call that the swan song on swing 4, swing 1, swing 2, swing 3, well, swing 1, swing 2, the down move, swing 3, swing 4, this is swing 4, potentially if it's going to go further up it would be swing 5. I always trade on swing 5, or if it fails to make swing 5, then swing 4 is the collapsing phase. Okay, so but clearly now the up move on this higher low here is broken now by this new down move, but the swing trend is still up, so we have to be cautious. We could draw an ascending trend line on this now actually, and get rid of that one because that's history, although that does make a channel going up through there. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video and have a good rest of the weekend. Stay safe, stay indoors, and keep washing your hand, guys. And don't forget, if you like my videos, like them and subscribe, please. All I'm trying to do is share my method that has evolved over the last 15 years from the preciseness, if you like, of 2B reversals and 1, 2, 3 reversals that I used to trade before this method evolved, by Vic Sperandio, or Trader Vic. Thanks for watching, have a good day.